I'm Dr. Ray Middleton. I help people by delivering great training. Here's an example episode from one of my training courses explaining the Power Threat Meaning Framework. I'm a member of the Power Threat Meaning Framework Committee, and these materials were developed in conjunction with the committee. We've thought about the idea that we all have a personal story or narrative that can get better, get worse, or get stuck in at times. We have more than one narrative often going on as well in our life, or feel a bit conflicted about which story to believe about ourselves. Good questions that help us reflect on our personal journey through life can be helpful. And one set of good questions that is the Power Threat Meaning Framework asks. And the first question it asks is, what strengths do we have? Including what access to powerful resources do we have? The answers to these questions might stir up uncomfortable thoughts and emotions for people, so it can help to list under this first question about strengths the people and the organisations that might be helpful to offering support to you or support to the person you're helping to answer these questions if you're supporting someone else to work through the questions. So jot down and write down who's helpful and which organisations might be helpful if you feel unsettled, reflecting on the answer to these questions. You can encourage someone to list the people, organisations they would find helpful and supportive if they feel unsettled. This could include family or friends and or professional support if that's available. You could consider letting them know you're working through the framework yourself if you want, if you think they're trustable and understanding. You could say, I'm working through the questions of this framework and let them know. Work through the framework questions at a time and a pace that's right for you, at a time when you're reasonably settled and not when you're dealing with major stressful life crises. Leave it until you're a bit more settled in your situation. You could also list some techniques under this question and strengths that you find useful for dealing with strong emotions. We're all different. You might have some really good techniques or things you do when you're feeling anxious or angry or guilty, or all sorts of feelings can get stirred up, and you might have ways that you process them, handle them, manage them. You may have enough strategies for managing strong emotions, but the lead authors of the framework, Lucy and Mary, suggest you can find some good additional ones by searching in the self-help section of the Stabilisation Pack, which has been produced by the Welsh psychological service Cwmtaf Morganan. So you can Google that and you can search it. And these were co-produced, these skills and strategies, with experts by experience, which I highly recommend. I'm someone with lived experience of severe psychiatric difficulties, in and out, psychiatric survivor of the psychiatric system. So I've got that lived experience. So it's really good to access resources that have been made by people and with people collaboratively, who've experienced these things for themselves. If you want some ideas about and techniques that might be help, go on the website and just search for Stabilisation Pack and click on the self-help section, and you'll see a list there. So, to prepare or help someone else prepare well for reflecting on these questions, you could list those people who may be supportive. Choose a time when you're not dealing with major stresses in life. List strategies and techniques that help you contain and process strong emotions. And finally, remember to take breaks and relax between questions. You do not need to answer them all in one go, or even all in one day. So pace yourself and take relaxing breaks, such as a walk or whatever helps you relax. I like going into my garden or spending time with my dogs to relax, In addition to any strengths and skills that you might think of in this list under this question, the framework uses the phrase, what access to powerful resources have we got, to help us think more socially about the strengths we may have. I hope you found that helpful. For more information about the live and recorded training I offer, just email me at ray.middleton@ladderforlife.com and sign up for my free trauma informed course by clicking the link in the description comments. Subscribe for more helpful videos and post a question in the comments and I'll reply.